Shalom again. This is part 54, and I'm Love Herself. In the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 14, it reads, "There are thousands and thousands of crowds waiting for God Yahweh's judgment of them in Jehoshaphat, the Valley of Decisions." After the two Florida cops' first death try attempted to kill, which they blamed on Adam ben Yahweh, they pursued even more poor sufferers to increase the number of victims in their plots. How to get 13 more, since their serial killing plot was to get 14 in all, innocent, unaware, poor souls. Then to add fuel to their fire, some lawmen, they had been monitoring and spying and keeping an eye on a particular newcomer to Florida being called Lying Robert, a killer that the demonic California law system had released back among the mostly non-killer public of society for him to do more damage, and more crime sprees, so the courts and the so-called law enforcers could get paid again and again. Because without crime, the evil and justice system of America, it stays idle and broke. So then back to being Andy and Barney, which they dread. Gunless sheriffs and gunless deputies. So anyway, later in this Exodus story, the Florida cops, the accusers against Adam ben Yahweh, they went on a few crime sprees themselves, and they got to killing unarmed non-criminals to help their lying stories. They're heartless bastards. They're under the coded name Levites, the cops are, in their Exodus stories. But they want readers to believe that our Moses, Father Yahweh and Ben Yahweh, and 15 good sons and daughters of God, each were responsible for the slaughtering of 14 people. That's the same similar lie story that's in newspapers today, copied from their scriptures, scripted, acted out. So they play the roles, taken from the old story that's written in the 1600s of their Bibles, which reads briefly. Moses said that God ordered the Levites to slew 3,000 people. But today, these days, Moses, which was Father Yahweh and Son Yahweh, one in, one body that they used, they did not order the brotherhood to slaughter 14 people, like they have it written that the Levites did. No, the brotherhoods did not slaughter 14 people. The truth is that the Prince of Darkness, their Moses, led their Levites, Florida army of police cops, in other words, to slaughter others, innocent, unarmed people, poor souls. I can't stress it more. There are some good behaved authors and writers who wrote some fairly decent verses in their Bible, but some writers are nuts to write down that 3,000 people deserve their throats slashed, all because they danced around a golden toy, a golden calf. It's nuts. It's ridiculous. Plus the writing puppet masters, they puppeteer their Jehovah God to conduct the Holocaust of 3,000 people. And so you in the congregation, you who are in those congregations, in those churches, who go every Sunday to hear this bull, circumcise your thoughts. It's like the funny comedian on YouTube named Trixie says it. I love it. Anyway, so the dirty cops in Florida, they're pointing the finger at the people of God because they want all religions to stop. Each small group of cops per state are a part of the entire country of cops, all under the same orders, to rid the country of all religions, Then afterwards, all who's religious will bow down to them and their God, the Pope, the Prince of Darkness. He's back and forth. He's pretending to want more and more freedom of religion for everyone. But they have allowed that already. So now they're getting to where they've had enough. They're now going to start trouble against everyone's religion, not just Yahweh's. They want to be God, so they're aiming at everyone to bow. They want every knee to bow. So don't think that old adult influence had nothing to do with, for example, with that young man's decision to kill the 9 people in the Christian church in South Carolina. Yahweh says in this next part, where God speaks, he says he was hoodwinked, and they told him if he killed some blacks that they'd get him off because they were lawyers, you see, lawyers in on the murders, and therefore others would copycat, and if hundreds follow his lead, that would shut down the churches, the black ones for sure, because who would go since it's not safe anymore? So the whites now, who used to visit black churches in droves, they have stopped, afraid there may be a retaliation. So with member loss and visitors cutting down, the ministers are losing. The organization behind the scene, though, the plot, won't come clean. But they're trying to get him off, though, because he won't spill the beans. But now, there's been a few years ago, he's thinking a little differently about spilling. It was the KKK, out of uniform. South Carolina has plenty of, KKKs. Anyway, the young man, his soul is in that body only. That's something to talk to the Lord about. The Lord says that he has his spirit, and the young man has been sentenced. And the KKK will be taken up on ship, says the Lord. Okay, so that's what Yahweh Love himself wanted to express and for me to express. So I listened, I wrote it down, and I read it to you listeners in part of it. Some of it I said it or something like that. So the KKK are in the scriptures. Look under the word troops. Meanwhile, back in Miami, Florida, Zion, where the Florida police were on the trail of a killer who had recently been released back into society, like I had said earlier, he made his way into Florida to settle down from out of California. He had family there in Florida and wanted to join them, so they let him stay, room and board. So when he ran into one of the Yahweh members, he was interested. So please go to the next part and pay real close attention to this fascism on this picture here that's currently going on as I speak. These are armed police officers, soldiers, crooks, criminals. They're not to serve and protect. They're coming for disbelievers of Yahweh, and they're trying to come for believers of Yahweh. But it ain't gonna happen. Okay. Love you. You should love yourself. Please go to the next part.